What is up, guys? Snaggle J back with a brand new episode of our Marlins franchise, and what a period it has been. The last update we gave was at the draft. We were kind of bummed out. The draft didn't go the way we wanted, so now we've gone up to the day after the trade deadline. And as you can see, we are 59 and 49, 10 games above 500. We're still holding tight to second place in the National League East. We are 4 games back of the Mets for first place. We have a 4.5 and 5 game cushion over the Phillies and Braves, respectively. We'll take a look at the full standings here. So as you can see, we're 4 games back here, like I just said. We do only have a plus 10 run differential, which is not great. The NL Central, the Brewers have a 10-game lead over the Cardinals and 15.5 over the Cubs, running away with it. The Dodgers are 72 and 34, still running away with the National League West. We look at the NL wild card. Right now, we're in a wild card spot. We're in the second wild card spot, 1.5 up on the Cardinals. Everybody else kind of starting to fall back a little bit. Now, we still have 2 full months of the season, so a lot can happen there for sure. We'll take a look at the AL. The Rays are 1 game up over the Yankees. We're going to get to the Rays here in a minute. 5 games up over the Blue Jays, who are a disappointing 1 game under 500. The Red Sox and the Orioles starting to lag behind. The Orioles 37 and 71. Vomit. White Sox 10.5 games up in the Central. That has to be disappointing, especially for the Twins. Twins are 2 games over 500, but 15 games back of the White Sox with some impressive showings from the Royals and Guardians, but again, still double-digit game behind the White Sox. In the American League West, the Mariners are 5 games up on the Astros and Angels with the disappointing Rangers, and obviously the A's being well behind. The AL wildcard, you got the Astros and Royals in the driver's seat, and then you got the Yankees, the Guardians, the Angels, and the Twins, all within 5 games. Anything is possible there. Let's go in and take a quick look at the state of our squad, and we'll do a little bit of a quick update here on how we're doing on some of our players so far. You will see a new name in there, Austin Meadows, who we will cover in just a second. But Austin Meadows is now part of the team with his 16 home runs and 55 RBIs, a trade deadline acquisition for us. You can see Jorge Soler still having a pretty good year. 19 homers, 64 RBIs, a 272 average, which is probably better than we expected he would have. He's got that 812 OPS, and again, the 19 bombs, 55 runs scored. Really, really well. Brian Anderson having a good season as well. 18 homers, 48 RBIs. He's OPS in 863, which leads the team. You love to see that. Putting on a nice little performance there. Again, Avisail Garcia's hitting 251. He has 15 homers, 47 RBIs. Jazz Chisholm, we talked a lot about Jazz in the last update, how he was extremely, extremely disappointing. You will see his potential has dropped to a B. Concerning, but he has turned it around as of late. He's up to a 241. He's got 10 steals. His on-base percentage still not great. His OPS finally up over 700. So a little bit of signs of life from Jazz there. Miguel Rojas hitting 234 with 11 homers. Garrett Cooper hitting 257. You got Joey Wendell hitting 272 down there as well. Jacob Stallings, unfortunately, he has missed the last several months of action. You can see he only has played 46 games, only has 158 at-bats because he has been hurt McGirt with a torn finger ligament. You can see he's 1 to 2 weeks away from returning, but he has been hurt and on the 60-day DL currently. We have called up, we talked about him in the last video, 19-year-old Joe Mack, who had some pretty impressive stats in the minors. He's holding his own, 220. A homer, 12 RBIs. He's striking out a lot, but holding his own. His slugging percentage, a solid 285. He's OPSing under 600. But we were in a pinch. We needed him, and he has been able to sort of hold down the fort, I guess, while we waited for Stallings to return. Pablo Lopez is our only double-digit winner, 10-8. You see Trevor Rogers is 9-5. Alcantara and Sanchez are 8-7. Eliezer Hernandez is 5-8. We look here through some of our metrics. Trevor Rogers, 116 to 37 K to walk ratio, 283 ERA, very nice. Alcantara, the walks still a bit high, but 151 K to walk, 3.60 ERA, and a 1.24 WHIP. Lopez and Sanchez, identical K totals, almost identical walk totals. That is nice to see from Sanchez because we know he had been having control problems earlier in the year. He seems to have gotten those under control and has his whip down to 1.3. Our pitching really carrying us here. Our starting pitching has been fantastic. Again, Eliezer Hernandez is our worst starting pitcher, and he has a 4.40 ERA and a 1.41 whip, which is very good, very nice. You love to see that. Loving where we're at here. In the bullpen, Dylan Floro has 33 saves, a 2.55 ERA, and a sub-1 whip. Richard Blyer in 21 and a third innings, a .80 whip and a .84 ERA. Those two guys really carrying our bullpen. You will notice Anthony Bass not on this screen. We're going to get to that in a second. So our pitching doing the job for us. What we needed to do. Let's go take a look at the completed transactions for us, and we will go to the trades, and we made one deadline trade, and there it is. We acquired Austin Meadows from the Rays for Jesus Aguilar and Anthony Bass. So Aguilar and Bass are both unrestricted free agents at the end of the year. They were making $10.5 million combined. Austin Meadows had become sort of an extra piece for the Rays. They were running a Rosarena in left field, and I think they were looking for a little more power from the left side, which they get with Aguilar on an expiring deal. Now, Austin Meadows does provide some interesting sort of things here because, you see his ratings package there. He's on the way up. He's an A potential 26, so just starting to come into his prime. Left-handed hitter, very good against righties, not so bad against the lefties. Not great vision, but, it is what it is. Obviously, his defense leaves a little something to be desired, but we'll be able to cycle him in and out of DH where we can. As you can see, 16 homers, 55 RBIs in the season. He does have 95 strikeouts, which is a lot. 784 OPS. He has the 6 steals in there as well. And his contract is not terrible. $4 million this year, 2 years of arbitration. So we have him under control for 2 more full seasons after this. For 2 guys that really we weren't going to re-sign. We definitely weren't going to re-sign Aguilar. Probably weren't going to re-sign Bass either. So we moved on from them. We got a controllable piece with a little bit of flexibility here. The Rays get a little more power to try to stay atop of the AL East, and we get somebody who we can add to our outfield mix with guys like Jorge Soler, Jesus Sanchez, Avisail Garcia. We'll take a look at some other trades that have occurred as well. And there was a lot of them. And we'll go back. Let's go back to, we'll go down from the bottom up just to see, because again, you can see there is a lot of trades. We'll look mostly at the month of July. The Cubs were very, very active. So let's see. I guess we can only go down to last month, right? Oh, here we go. So we got to July. The Astros got Alex Cobb from the Giants for Freudis Nova. Sam Huff, prospect for the Rangers. They give up on him, send him to the Guardians for Connor Pilkington. Nelson Cruz goes to the Angels for Jonathan Diaz. So the Angels loading up on a power bat for the run. This was a big trade between the Mariners and the Cubs. The Mariners acquired Wilson Contreras for Jake Anchia, Nick Marvicius, and Taylor Trammell. So 3 prospects for Wilson Contreras, who I believe is on an expiring deal for the Mariners. I should know that because I'm using the Cubs in OTP. Joey Votto goes to the Guardians for starting pitcher Daniel Espino. Man, I mean, in real life, I hope the Reds move Votto somewhere where he can at least have a chance to play in front of some fans. The Red Sox acquired Yan Gomes from the Cubs, so the Cubs trade both their catchers. They get Cole Cottom, Brian Matta, and Nick Decker in return. So, again, the Cubs loading up on the prospects. The Red Sox get Jake Odorizzi from the Astros for Jax Grohans. What a great name. The Brewers, again, the Cubs fire sale continues. The Brewers acquired Frank Schwindel from the Cubs for Jefferson Quero and Garrett Mitchell. Again, Garrett Mitchell, pretty solid prospect. Not a bad haul for the Cubs there. If they're going to rebuild, they're going all the way. The Mariners keep up their acquisition ways. They get Nico Horner from the Cubs for Matt Brash, Cal Raleigh, and Joe Rizzo. So, again, the Mariners making moves. The Cubs just dumping anybody with a pulse. The Phillies acquire Colin McHugh from the Braves for Alec Boehm and Sam Coonrod. Wow, that's a big interdivisional trade. Not sure I understand the Phillies' point of view on that one. Big prospect trade here as well. The Phillies acquired Enrique Hernandez from the Red Sox for Bryson Stott. So again, the Phillies acquiring Colin McHugh and Enrique Hernandez for really Stott and Bohm, two of their better prospects, and a pretty solid reliever in Sam Coonrod. Whit Merrifield, so the Cubs, classic Cubs, after all of their wheeling and dealing, dumping everybody with a pulse who's over the age of 25, they trade for Whit Merrifield in return for Justin Steele. Hopefully we find another trade up here where they flipped Merrifield to somebody else. The Astros acquired Elvis Andrus from the A's for Jordan Brewer. Let's go through and see if some of these. A big trade between the Rays and Orioles. The Rays acquired Trey Mancini for Nick Schnell, Cameron Misner, and Jonathan Aranda. I guess when you look at that trade, I don't understand why they wanted Jesus Aguilar, but they did. The Astros got Wilmer Difo from the Diamondbacks for Matthew Barefoot. Esteban Quiroz and Joe Barlow trade teams there between the Rangers and Cubs. Huge trade between the Blue Jays and the Giants. The Jays acquire Carlos Martinez for prospect shortstop Elvis Martinez. I should at least learn to say his name right. The Cubs then acquired Brett Phillips for starting pitcher Caleb Killian. Again, turning their complete team around and saying, hey, we're going to go for it now. Tyler Naquin goes to the Cardinals for Michael McGreevy. This was the trade that we made. Austin Meadows to the Marlins for Jesus Aguilar and Anthony Bass. A massive, this is the trade that caught my eye when I first saw it. I still don't understand it, but whatever. The Royals acquired Cabrian Hayes from the Pirates for two upper-tier prospects, Asa Lacy and MJ Melendez, and also reliever Dylan Coleman. I guess if you're the Pirates, you're giving up on Cabrian Hayes, maybe a little early. The Twins acquired Tommy Pham from the Reds for Will Holland, Cole Sands, and Andrew Bechtold. The Angels acquired Garrett Hampson from the Rockies for Magneuris Sierra, Kyron Paris, and Kevin Maton. The Brewers acquire Sean Murphy from the A's. The A's now going to start getting in on the fire sale here. Sal Frelick and Tyler Black going the other way. Tyler Black soon to be renamed Seth Rollins. Kirk Casale and Anderson Tejada. Patrick Wisdom, as the Cubs go back to fire sale mode now, goes to the Dodgers for Andy Pages, Luis Rodriguez, and Andre Jackson. Robert Newstrom and Tyler Malone switch teams, and Lonnie White and Logan O'Hop. So, again, lots of teams making moves, mostly the Cubs. Again, that big trade, obviously, with the Pirates and the I already forget who it was. The Royals, which you love to see. That actually really, like I said, that really caught my kind of eye that the Pirates wanted to go a different direction than what they had with Cabrian Hayes and decided to pick up. I mean, you got Asa Lacy's a 71A potential guy. Not bad. Who else did they get in the deal? Melendez, a potential catcher. So, again, it kind of makes sense. If you're the Pirates, maybe. Obviously, if you're the Royals, again, maybe it doesn't make sense from their side, but you got an 84A guy who now you have him and Bobby Witt Jr., so one of them can move to short. I mean, they have a loaded Cabrian Hayes, Bobby Witt Jr., and Alberto Mondesi on the left side of the infield. Huge. Anyways, guys, that gets us to the trade deadline. We're still in the hunt. We're still in the hunt at the trade deadline. We're going to see how these last 2 months goes. I'm looking forward to it. Guys, if you enjoy the Marlins franchise, if you enjoy the video, make sure you smash like as hard as you can, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, peace.